Hey everybody, welcome. I know there's probably not anybody in here right now, but right here behind me, that is the infamous now Sanford Dam. That's the Tittabawassee River flowing around it. That's the dam that caused so much flooding a year ago. That's all that green out there is what used to be Sanford Lake. It used to be Sanford Lake. Spent a lot of time out there fishing as a kid. Kind of a impromptu live, so I'm sure not too many people are going to be jumping in too quickly here, but hopefully it's working out. Hopefully the picture looks all right. Need to switch my camera around. There we go. Whoops. I'm sure maybe some people will be coming in here soon. But this is the cemetery that we worked in last summer. I see one person's here now. I'll come back over here and show you what I showed before. That right there is the infamous Sanford Dam, and that's the Tittabawassee River, and it's flowing out around it now and coming down over here. It's supposed to go over there. Yeah, I just kind of decided I was going to get on. I'm here kind of taking inventory of things that need to be done, like, these two headstones here. They need to be permanently stood back up. You see, they took these and they stood them up like that in that base. And those corners just break off easy. So needs to be put back in and maybe, submerged a little bit farther and mortared back in. But so I'm just up here making a list of things that need to be done, and we'll start seeking out permission to work on some of this stuff. But these are the headstones that we fixed last year. They were all leaning and everything. This one specifically, I remember, was laying on its face right here. You can still see the indent in the ground where it was. But Ranch with Rogers, welcome. Thanks for coming in, buddy. But yeah, see, so here's things that I want to get fixed this year in here. Stuff like this. See where somebody has made a repair before. That repair, well, the epoxy is holding. They didn't do a very good job lining it up. Oh, no, actually they did. Yeah, that's lined up. That's a lip right there from this box here. But this all needs to be infilled with some white marble. That epoxy needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And better yet, this one needs a new base poured. Needs to be mortared back into a base, stood back up, epoxied together, and then infilled. So, and there's a lot of that around here. See this one here, I think this stone was probably cleaned with bleach a lot, and that caused this what's called sugaring. But like this one here kind of looks similar, but it's supposed to be like that. So the whole bottom is sugared because that mortar was probably not very good mortar, and it exposed that bottom part to the elements. So I see there's some, that's like not even epoxy, that's flexible, that's like almost caulk, bathtub caulk, which was used all too much. Let's see, this one's upside down. Wow, look at that. Somebody put that thing in there upside down. Never noticed that before. These are things that we didn't work on last year because we figured we'd get in here again to work on that type of stuff. And this thing here, this is something that was done all too commonly. Somebody used some of that bathtub caulk again. It looks like some mortar maybe in there. And they screwed these metal bars to it with drywall inserts. And that's supposed to stand up on top of that pedestal there. I'd like to get them fixed. See how they thought they could keep that from falling apart and it didn't fall apart, but now this has got holes in it. And you think those drywall inserts are going to keep water from getting in there? You're wrong. See that hole right there? Same thing. That's probably from that. So I think we did like 200 and some headstones in here last year. This one here, same thing. And they put this metal strapping all the way up the back. See those screws all the way through? So that's what I want to work on this year, if I can do it. This stone here, 2 weeks ago or so, I was here and I saw this piece leaning up against it on the back here, which is obviously the top half. But this piece right here, because I picked this piece up and set it up there, and I said, well, there's a triangle piece missing from there. This piece was all the way over there by that headstone, and it goes right there. See? So I would like, it's unfortunate that a lot of the writing and stuff is really worn on this. But what I'd like to do is get them pieced back together. And when I went down to Union City for that, for a seminar, what the lady down there is doing is she's fixing all these headstones, and the ones that are hard to read, or if she fixes them and loses any of the epitaph or anything like that, she makes these little brass plates and puts them down here with the information on them. I think that's a great idea. That's probably actually one of the best ideas I've heard of, as far as not losing the information. But so I'd like to probably start doing some of that. Look at all this is all grass that we planted last year. There was no grass up here. It's still pretty thin, but and this thing here, this is a slotted base for a headstone. No idea where the headstone is. Could be underneath that tree for all we know. But this cemetery is kind of cool. It's up on top of this hill. And that gives you a good little shot down. There's a trailer park right there, which is kind of unsightly. But is that the one by the camp? Well, I've been kind of not paying attention to the chat. Yeah, that was a common fix a while back. And another thing too was like this one here. This one here, when we dug this foundation out, we found this headstone. First of all, you can see all this white right here. That was where the mortar was. This foundation was so off level that they leveled this up with mortar. So it was like probably 3/4 of an inch thick on this corner, I think. And it just leveled from there up. And this foundation was way off kilter still. So it was kind of weird. You got to do what you can do, I guess, right? And this is the type of thing that just a piece of a headstone laying here. Don't know where it's from. Actually, I think I do know where this one belongs. There was a bunch of pieces down here earlier, and I was trying to kind of piece them together, see if anything fit together. And I found those two fit together. This one kind of has a round edge. I don't know if... No, I don't think so. I feel like those two go together somehow. But there might be a lot missing in there. Who knows? That's a problem here. Oh, look at that's got some writing on it. Could that be part of it? Somehow? Maybe. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of writing right here somewhere. You can feel it right there. I have to clean those pieces up and see what I can figure out. So look at this thing. I don't know how this happened. Look how thick that is. I mean, it's 6 inches thick. It broke right off. Must have had a crack in it, and maybe some water got in there and froze and broke it the rest of the way. Yeah, we did a lot of work here last year. And I thought, yeah, this piece right here goes there, and this piece goes there. Oh, we just need some epoxy and a little bit of infill, some other tools. We could put that back together just like that. Maybe straighten it up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm really happy with the job we did out here. The thing that kind of disappoints me is the fact that it's still not being taken care of the way it should be. That part of the cemetery over there looks great. Nice flat ground. Guys can mow like crazy. But this side over here, that's a nice area. Look at the beautiful trees here. up on this ridge, it's just really nice here. But the lawn's not upkept. Got these two big tablets here that I would like to stand up. 4 new bases for them. There's another base right here. No headstone. I don't know if it's maybe, oh, look at that. See that? Right there. What's that? That looks like white marble, doesn't it? It is. There could be a big white marble tablet right here underneath the ground. I wouldn't put any money on it, but it's possible. Yeah, that's white marble right there. I bet you any money. I just said I wouldn't put any money on it, but now I'm going to go get my probe, and I'm going to probe right there and see what I find. Yeah, it would be great if what I'm doing is, we've got a local Facebook group here that spawned out of the flood disaster last year, and a lot of local people that have family that's buried here. And anyways, I made a post in there about 2 weeks ago that I was wanting to come in here and do some more work, and some people were interested, but they'd like to know what needs to be done. And I'm just gonna make a list, take pictures, make another post, and see what happens. I know one of the ladies was interested in having her great-great-grandfather's headstone fixed. See, I think this one here is a recent fix. That this one was probably just set in the ground, and you can see right here where the lighter color is, and that is from this mortar fix. They put new mortar in, and they wiped it, and they didn't get all of that new mortar off the stone, which it's not terrible. It's there, and you can see the definite difference, and it goes all the way around, it looks like. But they did a pretty good job here. I'm happy with that. That looks really good. In fact, I'll have to look through my pictures, but that might have been fixed since we were here last year. It's quite possible somebody did that. A new form of relic hunting. Yeah, well, the thing is you get into a cemetery and you start poking in the ground, and you just never know what you're going to find. Yeah, old wooden cross there. This is one that was really interesting to me. This is one of actually, I think this is the first one we set back up. And it hasn't been cleaned yet, I can tell. But this is like a sandstone foundation. And then this is a white marble piece here. And then this is a sandstone again. So I really don't know, or like this might be a marble also, but it's not white marble. It's really interesting that they did that combination there. There's a headstone down there that's laying down still. When are you cleaning graves again? I'll tell you what, you guys. You guys need to get your mom to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something and get a tub of what's called Orvis Orvis paste or Orvis soap. You guys go gangbusters. Get permission from the cemetery and tell them you want to go out and clean veteran headstones, and tell them what you're doing and how you're doing it, and get out there and do it. That's a great project for you kids. You guys would love it. Yeah. See, a lot of these over here look really nice already. This one here, this little obelisk needs to be leveled up. I don't know if we missed that last year, or maybe it sunk a little bit since then. Doesn't look too bad, but 10 more years, she's gonna fall over. This one over here, I've walked past it twice now. This here, let me get over here real quick, and I'm probably gonna wrap this up here soon, but this headstone here is huge. Let me see if I can, you guys have seen any of my Facebook pictures on any of this. That's how big that is. And it actually, this piece belongs up here. Part of it's broken off. That is headstone of the Brooks family, pretty much. But this John W.H. Brooks, he is the definition of what we call an all-American badass. He was born October 3rd, 1811. He was actually born on a ship coming over from England. Tiny, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming, man. Yeah, he was born on a ship coming over from England. He fought in the Civil War, and he fought in the Spanish-American War. He believe the way he lays in his grave right now, he's got 3 bullets from the Civil War in him, and he took a saber slash across the face during the Spanish-American War, and he died in 1914. Actually, you know, that might have been the Mexican War. It's only a difference of 40 years. But yeah, that guy right there is a badass. I took your mod wrench away? Oh, I don't think I ever made you a mod in this channel. This is a different channel, brother. Nope, I don't think. I think Steel Wool's the only mod I have. But yeah, so I think it'd be really nice to get down here and hopefully get some permission to work on some of these and get them preserved back to the way they should be. This one here, this is one that I'm working on right now, actually. That bottom half, actually all the way up to here, has started to sugar, and whether that's from environmental, maybe the stone was just not that great. See a lot of markers exactly like this, the same age, that are not in that bad of shape. But I got a replacement from Washington, D.C., and I'm pretty sure that the guy at the VA's office screwed everything up with my application for a new stone, because it's not white marble. It's not that style. It's got the wrong birth date and death date on it. I was a little upset about that, but so I'm paying out of my pocket to get that fixed, and then gonna have a rededication ceremony for that, and then one more I'll show you, and I think I'm gonna call it quits so I can get back to work. This one here It's actually laying in two pieces. That's the bottom half that's behind it. But this one was actually standing about where that flag is. And if you were looking at it, it came out on an angle like this. That bottom half was about 16 inches underneath that tree, where the tree had started to grow around it. And when we dug down, it was already broken underneath the ground. But I saved both the pieces. I think I'm going to be able to epoxy that back together, do some infill, and it'll look really nice. And I'll be able to have it stand in the standard 24 inches out of the ground and everything like that, you know. So it'll be nice. I'll show you one more actually. Those two white ones you can just barely see right there. They're ground level markers right there. Those were completely covered in mud. Had no idea they were there. One day it rained really hard and the mud kind of started to dry and it looked like two perfect rectangles. So I started poking around and found two headstones there. And I think this is the oldest part of the cemetery here. And what they say is that there's a lot of burials down in this area, but they were marked with wooden crosses a long time ago, and the wooden crosses rotted, deteriorated, and are gone, and nobody knows where the burials are actually at. But this area, when the dam blew, the water come up over the road and it flooded all this area. I'd be probably waist deep water right now, back when the flood came through, and it blew all the way through the woods here, went out onto the road, messed up a bunch of houses over there. But this is another one that was completely covered in mud. It was laying flat on its back, and it did the same thing. It started to dry, and it started to make an outline of a headstone on the ground. We started poking around, dug it up, and that thing was like black, brown, gray colored, and just 2 treatments of D2 and a little bit of scrubbing, and it cleaned right up. It's probably been under the ground for 10 years, I think. I think Find a Grave has a photo of that one from I think it was 2009. So who knows? But Pammy Jones, welcome. Thanks for coming. Just kind of showing off a little bit of what me and my volunteer group did last summer. I don't know how good of a picture you guys are getting. We got pretty decent signal, but this is what we did all last summer. I think 256 headstones. It was me and probably 6 or 7 other people, and this one here was flopped over into these bushes. Didn't even know there was really a headstone there, other than that piece and that piece were still there. We dug around through these bushes. We actually weed whacked all these last year and found the stone and got it back up on there. I can tell it needs to be cleaned. Some of these we did right at the last minute last year. That stone right there was a big one, and we had to use a pry bar, pry that up. It was almost falling forward. Same thing with this one here. This one here was listing forward quite a ways too, and almost falling off. We pried it back. That probably weighs, all 3 of those pieces, I'd say close to 2,000 pounds. So that was that one, and that one over there, same size. That was a job. These 2 here, you couldn't read. They were so black and nasty. And There's one other one over here I'll show you and tell you a little story about. Well, Tiny, I'm glad to call you a friend too. We don't get together and chat as much anymore, but it's nice to see you around and hear from you every once in a while. I'm no hero, Pammy. I'm just an average guy doing extraordinary things, I guess. This man right here, Corporal Hiram G. Thornton, he was in the Civil War, and he ended up being taken prisoner and stayed at Andersonville Prison, which everybody knows Andersonville Prison. Not a very nice prison. From what I understand, a lot of the reports, people say it was horrible. Yeah, it probably was. If you guys like history type stuff, there's a channel called History Underground, and he actually did a video on Andersonville Prison, and they had a little stream going through the prison, and it was only probably a foot wide or so. It was just enough trickle that there was always fresh water, so that's where the prisoners got their fresh water for drinking and bathing and stuff like that. And they would just go down and get into that stream and wash themselves off, and they would drink the water and everything. But they didn't know that the Confederates were also using that stream upstream to drink and use for latrines and bathing and stuff like that. So there was a lot of disease and whatnot. But Hiram here was a prisoner for quite some time. I don't know exactly how long, but somebody local here, one of his descendants, has a copy of his diary from the time that he spent in the prison. And I believe it says in that diary that when he got back, his wife tried to fatten him back up because he was so thin and had lost so much weight. He like weighed 90 pounds, and it took her 6 months to get him to start putting weight back on. Finally, he was back to his original weight, because where a lot of prisoners were quoted saying, the guards and everybody treated them well, but they just didn't have enough food, and it was dirty. There was a lot of disease. So him and his wife are buried here, along with two of the kids. Two of the kids. And then Hiram's got a privately bought stone here. 1840 to 1919. The stuff that man lived through, not too many people could handle that these days. But okay, well, I think I've probably shown you more than you wanted to see anyways, but this is where I spent my summer last year. It was awesome. Loved it. I gained a lot of knowledge. I got some experience. I have since learned about some things that there's better ways of doing, but all in all, I think the work we did here was pretty good, and it's been appreciated by a lot of people, so I'm happy with it. I'd like to get in here and finish up what I consider finishing up. So anyhow, there is one more here. I'll show you this one more, then I'm logging off so I can finish what I came here to do. This is a headstone of one of the volunteers that was here last year. Her great-great-grandfather, and I know she's interested in getting this fixed. But it's in 4 pieces. There's the base there, 1, 2, 3. And she said when she came here originally to find this headstone, that top piece was laying all the way down here, been washed down by the rain, and pretty sometimes can be hard to understand or believe that, but you see how this erosion right here from water, this is all one big sand hill. It's an incredible amount of sand. It's really nice sand, actually. But yeah, I want to get that one fixed. So a little footstone there. I think that footstone belongs to that grave also. And I'll walk up here and I'll show you guys a shot of the lake bed again. And I'm gonna log off here before too long. I gotta go help my buddy finish up his fence. So see what you guys think about this. Sorry if I'm making anybody motion sick. I started out by telling everybody that's the Sanford Dam there. That's what failed. It's actually not the dam structure that failed, but there was a berm that runs all along back here. That berm failed. All the water washed it away. So now the river comes under the overpass there and it makes this big loop like this. And it comes and it goes down and around that dam structure. And then it goes down into Sanford. Sanford's right down there. But that's the Tittabawassee River. And this is the first time, well, last year in May was the first time it has looked like this since 1922. So pretty amazing. That's all lake bed out there. And those, all that green is ragweed and cottonwood trees and all kinds of stuff growing out there. The last summer it was all sand. It was all nice beautiful sand and rocks and stuff. And now it's all being taken back by nature. We got about 5 inches of rain over the last 3 days or so, and this water is probably 2 or so feet, maybe 3 feet higher than what it was a week ago. So oh, tiny. Sorry, I haven't been really paying attention. But so typically, with headstone restoration or conservation, you don't want to do any harm to the stone. That's kind of like that's the standard, do no harm. So drilling holes really is not, it's frowned upon, besides the fact that if you put dowels in, and there are some people that do headstones that already have holes in them from their original placement, they will put stainless steel pins in. But a lot of people and people that I have talked to said that it's completely not necessary. In fact, like on a marble stone, marble is really soft, and if you were to put a stainless steel pin in marble and then something was to happen to that stone where it was going to break again, that pin would just tear right through that marble and create more damage to the stone. So it's kind of frowned upon. The epoxy that they use for this type of stuff, it's a special kind of epoxy. It is super, super strong. So something like, here, I'll show you. There's one right here that's broken that I really would like to fix. This one's been repaired before, and as you can see, the repair did not hold. I don't know what kind of epoxy they use, but it's really brittle, and you can see I can peel it right off with my fingernail. That's not a good epoxy. That is probably something like you could get at Home Depot, liquid nails or something stupid like that. The epoxy that we use on this stuff, you put a thin 1/4 inch line right down the middle, stick the other piece on, let it cure, and then you come in and you do infill with white marble infill around that. That epoxy will last forever, I guess. I mean, without knowing exactly how long it lasts, it'll still be there when I'm dead and gone. So, but can we get some of that stuff? The epoxy. So I would say you guys probably got a few years before maybe you should be doing any epoxy fixes, but definitely something that you learn in training if you were to ever go to any classes. There's classes well, in Michigan it's hard to find a class, but Cincinnati, Ohio, I think they have a class coming up. It's a 2-day. But when you guys get a little bit older, it'd be cool to get you in some classes and get you, if you guys are really interested in this, and get you working on some of this stuff. Need more and more people like that nowadays. So anyhow, I'm going to get back to work, make my list. I'm probably going to be late getting over to my buddy's house, but he'll understand. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming along. And yeah, if I got good service, I'm going to be doing some more live streams in cemeteries. Problem is a lot of my cemeteries don't get good service. So I think they don't really need the cell coverage and no Wi-Fi. All right, guys. Thanks for coming along. You guys stay safe and have a good day. It's beautiful here. See you later.